Welcome to the Databricks Skill Builder series. We're glad you're here.
We are covering how to set up a Databricks Workspace in AWS. In this video, you'll follow a step-by-step manual deployment of a Databricks Workspace. All resources will be created within your own cloud environment. While this video demonstrates how to create a VPC from scratch, you can use the bring your own VPC approach to host the workspace.
Hey everybody, my name is Julian, a Scale Solutions Engineer here at Databricks, and in this video, I'll show you how to manually deploy a workspace inside of your own VPC in AWS. So let's start. I'm here in my Databricks account console. I'll click on Workspaces, then I'll click on Create Workspace. I'll write a workspace name. I'll go with Julian Workspace. Then we'll choose a region in which to deploy our workspace. I'll go with North California. I'll skip choosing a MetaStore. Instead, I'll go to Storage and Compute, click on Use your existing cloud account. How would you like to deploy the workspace manually in Databricks? I'll click on Continue. You can specify a custom URL if you want. I won't do that, so I'll just click on Next. And now we have to create a storage configuration. I'll click on the drop-down menu, scroll all the way down till the last option, Create a Storage Configuration. I'll click on it. Then I'll write down a human readable name. I'm going to choose Julian Storage Config. For the fields below, follow the setup guide on the right. So we need to log into AWS and follow these steps. Make sure you have admin privileges in AWS. If you do, that's great. If you don't worry. In a minute, I'll show you the minimum requirements to deploy a workspace. So I'll click on this link. Then I'll click on Sign into Console. And there we go. Here we have our AWS console. I'll go back to Databricks and I'll follow the instructions. First, we need to create an S3 bucket and paste its name here on the name field. So I'll go to AWS on the search bar. I'll type S3. I'll click on this first option. Then I'll click on Create Bucket. We're going to have to choose a bucket name. I'll go with Julian Root Storage Bucket. I'll scroll all the way down and click on Create Bucket. Okay, there we go. Our bucket has been successfully created. We can look it up here. I'm going to click on its name. I'm actually going to copy the name and I'm going to paste it on my notes-taking app. So the root bucket, it's going to have this value. And I'll go back to Databricks and I'll paste that very same name here. And we can continue with step 2, which is to create an IAM role. I'm going to click on Learn More. It's going to send us to this documentation. It explains step-by-step how to manually deploy a workspace. So you can either follow this video or you can just follow this doc. Before I continue with step 2, I'm going to go into the requirements section and I'll show you the minimum requirements. First, you need the account admin role in your Databricks account. If you have access to the Databricks account console, you already have that role assigned to yourself, so don't worry about it. Second, you'll need enough permissions to provision IAM roles and S3 buckets. Third, you'll need an available VPC and NAT gateway. If you don't have them, don't worry, I'm going to create them from scratch in this video. Finally, you must have the SDS endpoint activated for US with 2. Anyways, I'll go back to step 2, create an IAM role with a custom trust policy. I'm not going to read every single word in this doc because that wouldn't be a very good use of our time. I'm just going to do an overview. I'm going to follow steps 1, 2, and 3. So for that, we need to click here to copy the JSON. I'll go back to AWS. In the search bar, I'll type IAM. I'll click this first option. On the left navigation pane, we'll search for the roles tab. I'll click on it. Then I'm going to click on Create Role. I'll choose Custom Trust Policy. I'll select all this JSON, I'll delete it, and then I'll paste the one I copied from the documentation. I'll scroll down, click on Next. I'll scroll down again and click on Next again. Then on the role name, I'm going to call it Julian Root Storage Role. I'll scroll down and click on Create Role. Okay, we've just successfully created the role. We can look it up here. I'm going to click on its name. I'm going to click to copy the ARN, and I'm going to save it in my notes too. So the root storage role ARN will have this value. Anyways, let's continue with the documentation. We just created our role. Now I'm going to follow steps 4, 5, and 6 to make our role self-assuming. For that, I'll click to copy this JSON. I'll go back to AWS. I'll click on Trust Relationships tab. Then I'll click on Edit Trust Policy. You know how it goes. Select all the JSON, delete it, and paste the new one. There's a couple of placeholder values we need to change here. For example, in line number 9, we need our role ARN. We just copied it, so I'm going to take it from my notes and I'm going to paste it here. Then we need our Databricks account ID. For that, I'll go back to Databricks. I'll click on my username. There's this pop-up window. You just click to copy our account ID. I'm actually going to save that in my notes too, just in case. Databricks account ID. It's going to be this value. I'll go back to AWS and I'll replace the value inside of the double quotation marks. There we go. Now I'll click on Update Policy. And we've just made our role self-assuming. Let's go back to the documentation. I'll scroll down. Now we need to create an IAM policy to grant read and write access. So I'll follow everything that's here on step 1. I'm going to click to copy this JSON. I'll go back to AWS. I'll go to the Permissions tab. Then I'll click on Add Permissions, Create Inline Policy. I'll click on JSON. I'll select this one, I'll delete it, and paste that one from the docs. There's a couple of placeholders we need to replace here, like the bucket names. So I'm going to copy my bucket name, and then I'm going to paste it here and also here. This KMS encryption part of the JSON is in case you're interested in encrypting the data you're going to save in your S3 bucket. I'm not interested in that, so I'm just going to delete it. Finally, we need our role ARN again. So I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it in between the double quotation marks. I'll scroll down, click on Next. We need a policy name. I'll go with Julian. Read and write policy. And I'll click on Create Policy. There we go. Let's go back to the documentation. Now we have to create a second policy. This one is optional, but it's highly recommended. So I'm going to click to copy this JSON. I'll go back to AWS. I'll click on Add Permissions, Create Inline Policy. I'll click on JSON, select all, delete it, paste the new JSON. There's only one placeholder here, which is the bucket name. So I'm going to copy my bucket name and I'm going to paste it right here. I'll scroll down. I'll click on Next. We need another policy name. I'll call this one Julian Events Policy. Then I'll click on Create Policy. And there we go. I'm going to go back to Databricks. And we need to paste our IAM role ARN. So I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it here. We just finished step number 2. We can go with step 3. You just need to click on Generate Policy and click to copy this new JSON. Step 4 is to paste our newly generated policy into the bucket policy. So I'll go back to AWS. I'll search for S3 bucket. And we're going to search for the bucket we just created. So I'll type Julian. Here we have it, Julian root storage bucket. I'll go to the Permissions tab. I'll click on it. And we're going to search for the bucket policy section. All the way to the right, we're going to click on the Edit button. We just need to paste that generated JSON, and I'll scroll down and save changes. And there we go, successfully edited bucket policy. I'll go back to Databricks, and I'll just click Create a Storage Configuration and continue. Perfect. We're on the third section now. So we need to create a credential configuration. I'll click on the drop-down menu, scroll all the way down and choose the last option, Add New Credential. We need to choose a human readable name for our credentials. So I'll go with Julian, credential config. For the role ARN, follow the setup guide on the right to create an IAM role. Once you create an IAM role, enter the name here. So we need to follow the steps here. We already logged into AWS. The documentation it's going to send us to is the one we are already following. So we need to create a cross-account IAM role as a first step. I'm going to go back to the documentation, and here on the right, I'm going to click on create a credential configuration section, and we're going to follow step 1. I'm going to preemptively copy this account ID that is here unique to the documentation. I'll go to AWS. I'll search for IAM. I'll click on it. Then I'll click on the roles tab. I'll click create role. Now I'll choose AWS account, another AWS account. I'll paste the ID from the documentation, and then I'll click on require external ID. We're going to need our personal Databricks account ID. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it here. I'll scroll down and click on next. I'll scroll down again and click on next again. Our role name will be Julian cross account role. I'll scroll down and click on create role. Okay, we successfully created our second role. If we search for it here, there we go, Julian cross account role. I'll click on it. I'm also going to copy this role's ARN and I'm going to save it in my notes taken up. So this one is going to be the cross account role ARN, and this is its value. Let's continue with the documentation. We'll go with step number 2, which is to create an access policy. We have 3 options for this. We'll go with option 2. I want to follow all these steps. All we got to do is copy the JSON here. I'll go back to AWS. I'll click on add permissions, create inline policy, JSON, select it all, delete it, and paste the JSON from the documentation. There are no placeholders here, so we can just scroll down, click on next. We'll choose a policy name. I'll call this one Julian cross account policy. And I'll click on create. And there we go. I'll go back to Databricks. It's going to ask us for that role ARN. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it here. Then I'm going to go into advanced configurations. If this is your first time creating a workspace, this MetaStore dropdown menu will be disabled and the MetaStore will be created automatically. So you don't have to worry about it. This is not my first time creating a workspace, so I have to choose a MetaStore. I'm going to show you the process to create one. I'm going to click on Catalog and open a new tab. Then I'll click on Create MetaStore. Before I continue, you can only have one MetaStore per region. Oh, but Julian, I see you have 2 MetaStores here in the same region. That's because this is an internal playground and we have a bit more flexibility than other people. Anyways, you only need 1 MetaStore per region. Don't worry about it. I'll click on Create MetaStore. I'll choose a name, Julian MetaStore. The region needs to be the same you chose for your workspace. And you can choose a default bucket path, but a best practice according to Databricks is to physically isolate your data. So I'm not going to choose a default bucket. I'm just going to click on create. The second step is to assign this MetaStore to any workspace. I'm actually just going to scroll down and click on skip. And there we go. We successfully created our MetaStore. I'm going to close this tab and I'll go back to the workspace creation one. If we click on the drop-down menu, oh, our new MetaStore doesn't appear. What we need to do is click on the reload. Oh, Julian, but I got sent back to the first step. Don't worry, don't worry. Most of our progress has been saved. You just need to click on next. Then you'll click on next again. And we have to retrace our steps here, but it's very easy. We just need to click the pop-up window, scroll down, click on add new credentials. We're going to type the human readable name. And then we just need to copy our cross-account role ARN again and paste it here. Now I'll scroll down up to the advanced configuration section. If we click on our MetaStore option here, we'll see we have Julian MetaStore. I'm going to choose it. And then we're going to choose the network configuration for our VPC. I'm going to scroll all the way down and click on Add New Network Config. I'm going to write a human readable name. I'm going to go with Julian Network Config. And we just need to copy and paste a couple of values from the VPC we're about to create. So I'll go back to AWS. On the search bar, I'm going to type VPC. I'll click this first option. Then I'll click Create VPC. I'm going to create the most generic VPC possible, but don't worry, you can customize it a little bit to your liking. I'm going to show you where you can find the details in the documentation. But first, I'm going to create it. So I'm going to tag it with Julian. I'm going to scroll down. NAT gateways, you're going to click on one availability zone, and then you just need to create your VPC. This is going to take a couple of minutes while we wait for our VPC to be created. I'll go back to the documentation. And if we check out here on the right, there's this advanced configuration section. I'll click on it. And we have this network configuration. If we click on configure a customer managed VPC, here we have all you need to know about Databricks VPCs. The region, the sizing limits. I'd say the most important thing here is the security groups. If you want to have more secure network settings for your VPC, you can close all of your ports with the exception of the ones listed here. That would be about the most important thing. I'll go back to the VPC. I'll pause the video while it finishes deploying. Okay, my VPC just finished deploying. So I'm going to click on View VPC. And I'm going to copy and paste a couple of values on my notes. So first, I need my VPC ID. I'm going to click copy. And I'm going to save it here. So VPC ID will be this one. Then we need both IDs from our private subnets. This one is our first private subnet. So I'm going to open a new tab. And this is our second private subnet. So I'm also going to open a new tab for that one. I'm going to go into both of them. I'm going to copy this first subnet ID. So private subnet 1. This is the ID. And then I'll go into the other tab. I'm going to copy this other subnet ID. And I'm going to write here private subnet 2. I'll paste the ID. Now I'm going to close both of these tabs. And to our left, I'm going to search for security groups right here. I'm going to click on this tab. Now I'm going to copy my VPC ID and I'm going to paste it here on the search bar. That way we can find out which is the security group that's related to the VPC we just created. I'm going to go down here and click to copy. And I'm going to add it to my notes. So this is going to be the security group ID, and I'm going to paste its value here. There we go. I'll go back to Databricks, and we just need to copy and paste this value. So I'll get the VPC ID and paste it here. Then I'll get the private subnet ID, and I'm going to paste it here. I'll get the second private subnet ID and paste it here. Finally, I'll get my security group ID and paste it here. We have this backend private connectivity option, and we also have private link here. That's very useful if you don't want to make your workspace accessible from the public internet and you want to have all of your traffic be private. So you're going to make your users go through either a VPN or a virtual machine to access your workspace. I'm not interested in that, so I'm just going to click on Add. Then I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click on Create Credentials and Continue. I'll click on Create Workspace. And there we go. Our workspace status is provisioning. I'm gonna pause the video until it changes to running. Okay, my workspace just finished deploying. You can check out the status. It says running. And you can just go here, click on Open Workspace. Let's give it a minute. And there we go. We have a brand new Databricks Workspace ready to go. So thank you for watching the video up to this point. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section, and that would be about it. Yeah. So bye-bye.